Two Congress members now say they are launching an investigation into the Justice Department's move to clear New York City Mayor Eric Adams from corruption charges. So let's bring in CBS News Department of Justice reporter Jake Rosen. Jake, thank you for joining us today. We know two Democrat lawmakers, they sent that letter to Attorney General Pam Bondi. And the big question is, what was in that letter? What was it about?
Well, that's right. Jamie Raskin, who is the ranking chair, so he is not in charge of the committee because Democrats do not have control of the House of Representatives. He and Jasmine Crockett, who oversees the Oversight Committee, two very important Democrats for what they can do to investigate Donald Trump. They're asking for documents in conversations between Attorney General Pam Bondi and Department of Justice officials and people at the White House, asking for specifics of what exactly happened in the leading up to the move to drop the charges against New York City Mayor Eric Adams. We're expecting that there really would not be a lot of cooperation from the White House and the Department of Justice on this. We'll have to see exactly how this plays out, but they're asking for exactly what happened in terms of whether they moved to drop the charges after Adams agreed to cooperate, or really trying to back up that conversation about a potential quid pro quo that Democrats have been alleging for the last couple of weeks.
Jake, I want to ask you about something else here, because around 1,500 Trump supporters were pardoned on charges related to the attack on the Capitol on January 6th. But there is a case out there that is still active. It involves a Texas woman. Her name is Abigail Shry. What are the charges that she's facing?
Well, that's right. Donald Trump has not faced legal charges because his case was dropped. About 1,600 people's cases were pardoned after Donald Trump pardoned a lot of the January 6th defendants on his first day in office. And this woman, Abigail Jo Shry from Texas, is the only case that currently exists right now stemming from the January 6th riot at the Capitol and investigations that followed up. She threatened Judge Tanya Chutkan, who was the judge who oversaw the Donald Trump's short-lived case here in Washington, D.C. as a result of the January 6th attack. She issued vile and racist threats against the judge, and she has been charged by the Department of Justice. And so far, Donald Trump's pardon of January 6th defendants has not applied to that. The Department of Justice has not stepped in and said whether or not she's going to be officially sentenced, which will come in a couple of months. But it's just an interesting case example where really the only threat left out there after all of this is a threat to a judge. And as we've seen, as a result of all these legal actions, threats against Congress members and judges have really been on the climb the last couple of weeks. So it's certainly something that we'll have to keep tabs on going forward.
Yeah, and we know you'll do that. And a judge in Washington over the weekend sided with the head of a federal watchdog agency, ruling that he must remain in his job. Do you know about the details on this one?
Yeah, and we've covered this for the last couple of weeks as it's kind of ping-ponged between the district court here in Washington and the Supreme Court. Hampton Dellinger, who oversees government ethics complaints and watchdog, he basically is a government watchdog between the executive branch and Congress. He was fired by Donald Trump, and his attorneys have argued in court that the firing was illegal and that the Trump administration had no authority to fire Dellinger in his job as special counsel, which they said is a completely independent agency. A federal judge here sided officially after temporarily putting him back in his job, gave him more permanent status and going back into his job. He has sided actually against the Trump administration in a lot of these cases where workers who've been fired by the Trump administration have sued to get their jobs back. He has sided with them in that. This case goes back up to the Supreme Court after the Supreme Court technically and temporarily allowed him to stay in his job last week. We'll see what the Supreme Court rules whenever they decide to take this case up, but it's again another high-profile example of Trump using his executive power and people suing to either slow him down or get their jobs back.
Okay, CBS News Department of Justice reporter Jake Rosen, thank you.